Have you ever wondered what investment provides the biggest returns in the world? Not stocks, not real estate, not even crypto, but startups. The greatest fortunes of our time were built by people who invested early in small companies that later became giants like Amazon, Google, Alibaba, and Airbnb. And here's the amazing part. Today you don't need to be a billionaire to do the same. Watch this video to learn how you can make your next big investment. Let me show you just how powerful startup investing really is. Eric Lefkowski invested $1 million in Groupon. Later, he sold part of his shares that were originally worth just $500 for an incredible $350 million. That means $1 turned into almost $1 million. Masayoshi Son made a legendary move when he invested $20 million in Alibaba for a 34% stake. Today, that stake is worth more than $120 billion and it is still growing. Early investors in Airbnb made up to 8,000 times their money. Uber's early backers earned around 5,000 times their investment. And the first investors in Genentech turned every single dollar into more than $36,000. These are not fairy tales. This is how venture capital really works. And friends and family who invested even earlier than the big funds often made even more. But here's the interesting question. How can normal people like you and me invest in companies like this before they become famous? The answer is equity crowdfunding. In the past, only big venture capital firms and wealthy insiders could invest in startups. Today, startups want funding from their future customers, their communities, and people who believe in what they are building. So instead of going only to billionaires, they raise money online through regulated equity crowdfunding platforms where anyone can buy real shares in a startup, usually starting from just €1 or €200. When you invest through equity crowdfunding, you become a shareholder. If the company grows, if it gets bought, or if it goes public one day, you share in that success. In Europe, these platforms are regulated under EU law, which means projects are checked, companies are reviewed, and investors get legal ownership and transparency. This makes startup investing safer and more accessible than ever before. And this market is growing fast. Even though equity crowdfunding was born in Europe, it is still much smaller than in the United States, which means the biggest opportunity is still ahead. The leaders today are the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. In the UK, platforms like Crowdcube and Republic Europe have already helped investors put billions of pounds each into startups. They have hosted companies like Revolut, where early investors saw paper gains of up to 350 times, and real exits delivering 2 to 3 times their money in cash. In France, platforms such as Tudigo, SoWeFund, and YSeed have facilitated hundreds of millions of euros in startup funding, giving everyday investors access to fast-growing French tech companies. In Germany, Companisto alone has helped raise more than 300 million euros, while platforms like Investor and Seedmatch have opened the door for investors to own shares in hundreds of innovative European startups that are building the future of the continent. As more people discover equity crowdfunding, more great startups get funded. And as more startups succeed, more investors make money. This creates a powerful cycle of innovation and wealth inside Europe. Instead of sending our money to big stock markets, we can invest directly in European companies, support innovation, and potentially earn much higher returns. And this is exactly where Crowdinform comes in. On crowdinform.com, you can find the best equity crowdfunding platforms in Europe, compare startup deals, and use AI-powered tools to understand the risks and potential of each investment. Instead of guessing, you can make smarter, more informed decisions about where to put your money. So if you want to learn how to invest in startups, build wealth with equity crowdfunding, and discover new alternative investments, make sure to follow this channel and visit crowdinform.com. We talk about everything from startups to green energy, from real estate to art and collectibles, all starting from just a few euros. See you in the next video.